G'day everyone, and welcome to Bush Tex. I'm in Forrest National Park, and it's been about 2 years since I've done this last. Only because with my older phone it had a lower resolution than this one. But this one, superb picture quality. Especially when I reverse the picture around, looking that way, it's in 4K. So, okay, we're heading straight for the tunnel right now. Oh, look at that. Absolutely beautiful. And you can understand the reason why I love coming out here in the bush. Nature at its best, eh? Now, the only problem with the Swanview Tunnel, it is dark in there. So if you do happen to come here, make sure you bring a torch because there's a lot of loose gravel in there. You don't want to slip over and hurt yourself. So I do recommend you bring a torch. Okay, here we are. Now during the winter months, we get a bit of water that seeps through the ground, through the tunnel here. As you can see right here. We're nearing the end of the tunnel. A bit right. And there we have it, the Swanview Tunnel. I'll tell you one thing, a lot of amazing scenery coming through here, Forrest National Park. And just over there should be some history on the Swanview Tunnel and the forest itself. Now the last time I was here was about 2 years ago, so all this along here wasn't there back then. But it would explain a lot of history on what it's all about. And what we have here is the tunnel. The most important and expensive component of the rail line was the construction of this tunnel. It remains today the only one of its kind in Western Australia. Construction commenced in 1894. It took over a year to build, with 2 crews working from each end, cutting through hard rock with explosives, hammers and chisels. It was an arduous and difficult project with 3 shifts working 24 hours a day. On completion, the levels and alignment were exact over the 314 metres, and is testament to the skill and diligence of the engineers, surveyors and workmen. It is a major technical achievement and is still well respected by engineers today. The brittle nature of the rock meant a brick lining was needed to stop rocks falling on the tracks and trains. It required 330,000 bricks, enough to build 36 houses today, to seal the roof of the tunnel. Unfortunately, the tunnel was not well ventilated, and the slow uphill movement of locomotives created noxious fumes and heat that overcame drivers and firemen. They tried to lie in the cab and cover themselves with wet hessian bags, and even experimented with an air tube to the front of the engine, but to no avail. Serious accidents continued until a driver was killed in 1942. Finally, a bypass around the tunnel was built in 1945. The line was used until 1966 when it was closed and an alternate route to the Avon Valley was constructed. So there you have it. Very interesting history about this place and the tunnel itself. I really love being out here in the bush, I really do. It's one of my deepest passions in life. Before I entered this Forrest National Park, I had a sign back there about not bringing your pets in. Very important, you don't want to do that. There's a lot of native wildlife in this area. They do not want to disturb or harm, for that matter. Well, that's if they're off the leash, of course. But anyway, do the right thing, leave your pets at home, and just come out here and enjoy nature at its best. Okay, just over there is the Eagle View Lookout. Eagle View Lookout. Something like that. Just a rider out here enjoying the fresh air. So to get over there, I'm going to be doing a bit of a hike. I'll be going that way, coming across and back that way, just to get there. But it's worth it. Okay, what we have here is the train crash that happened back in 1896 on June the 30th. The 24-carriage mixed train from Perth to Northam just started to move forward from the loop line out Mount Helena station. The couple broke, releasing 22 wagons to roll backwards away from the locomotive. Screams from locals alerted the guard, but he could not stop the wagons containing 2 passengers, 7 horses, general merchandise, moving backwards. After 13 kilometres and reaching an estimated speed of 190 kilometres an hour, the 22 wagons left the tracks here and smashed to splinters, killing 1 man and all 7 horses with a sound that was distinctly heard 5 kilometres away. Now, if you're probably wondering what's in Hovia, that's interesting. It's one of the main waterfalls here in Forrest National Park. Now, unfortunately, we haven't had much rain this time of the year, so I'm not expecting much water to be at this waterfall that I'm coming to right now. It could be a bit dry, but even so, I'm going there right now. Now, this is National Park Falls. During the winter months, a lot of water comes through here. Makes it a very good place to be. There you go. The native wildlife. A wild kangaroo. Just jumped right across from me. Let's see if we can get in a bit closer. Don't want to scare it too much. That's just one of the amazing things about being out here in the bush. Seeing kangaroos like that in their own natural habitat. Now, if you do happen to be new to this area, it is easy to get lost. And that's something you don't want to do. But to make it easy for you, there are markers. So you'll know where to go, how long it will take, and what the distance is. Just a moment. There we are. Just some loose rocks there. So I'm heading straight for Eagle View Lookout right now. It's not far, but I'm really looking forward to it. Now, there's one thing about making my videos. On a smartphone, I can understand that. But when it comes to computers and all that fancy technical stuff, I've always had a problem with that. I'm not really good with computers, and I don't think much of them at all. So these episodes that I'm doing, they're not going to be fancy. Just straight to the point. Now, if you are going to walk these walk trails here in Forrest National Park, make sure you bring plenty of water. It is thirsty work, especially if you're doing the hard slog. Going up and down, straight. It's enough to wear anyone out. But I'm glad I'm a very fit person, so I could do this stuff and do these walk trails. And you can see what I mean. And over there is Perth City itself. And quite amazing, it looks very healthy. There's no smog to blanket the whole city of Perth. Now isn't that a sight to see, eh? So I'm just going to stay here for a while, just admiring the scenery and have a bit of a rest before I go right back to where I started from. But this hike was definitely worth it. It really was. I'll tell you one thing. As much as I do love the rainy weather, I wouldn't want to do a hike like this while it's raining. But I do love being here. I really do. One of my brothers, he is a marathon runner. He's been down south, done a few runs in the city, and he's done this area quite a few times. He either runs or jogs, but me personally, I couldn't do that. Well, I'm not saying that I can't do that. It's just, I prefer to take my time and just a casual walk out here in the bush and take it easy while I'm doing it. I don't want to cheapen the experience by moving too fast. That's not for me. But my brother David, just a sec, just another walker going past. Didn't want to disturb her. But anyway, as I was saying, my brother David, he could do this circuit very easily and very fast. But me personally, nah. Okay, before I leave National Park Falls, I'll just do one more scenery shot for you. I'll just show you a bit of scenery on my way to the picnic area. And this is the actual trail itself that I'm walking on. Okay, this is the National Park station. In 1932, the WA Railways provided a reduced fare railway hike to the park. They set a national record for a community hike of 2,600 participants and began a growth in regular train visitors. By 1936, the increasing numbers necessitated a new station to allow day tripping visitors to alight here, instead of Tokyo Station, nearly a 2-kilometre walk away from the park attractions. If you look around, you'll be able to see the footings and other remnants of the railway station that was the starting point of a wonderful day in nature for tens of thousands of people. That's a good thing about all these signs here. It gives you a good indication on the distance on where you walk. Well, I suppose I could do another kilometre just to go to the Hovia Falls. And just over there would be the picnic area. But I'm not going there, I'm just going right past it. The Brook Bridge. This is the first of 4 bridges built in the park for the Eastern Railway and was completed in 1895. Originally built of locally sourced jarrah and carry, it spanned 60 metres. It was replaced in the late 1920s because of age, increasing size and frequency of locomotives and wagons servicing the eastern agricultural and mining areas. and the need to duplicate the rail line. This bridge was designed and manufactured in the Midland Railway workshops in 1928 with a pair of riveted steel plate girder spans mounted on top of concrete abutments or abutments. Not just sure how you pronounce that particular word, with 10-bed decking. Very fascinating history. But right here is the old bridge that I used to walk on back in the 1980s and 1990s. And of course this new one here was built not so long ago. Okay, this is the picnic area. I won't be going there, of course. We'll be going to Hovia Falls. It's only a kilometre away. But the ceiling doesn't look real nice. Here we have it, Hovia Falls. It would actually be more amazing to see if it had a lot of rain and water to come through here. Let's go this way. They blocked this off. Oh well, doesn't matter. We're good. Right there used to be a small bridge. So unless it fell apart or whether they were doing maintenance, I have no idea. But anyway, like I said, it doesn't matter. Just being here is what matters. So during the winter months, come here and you'll enjoy the scenery. The amount of water that comes through here and down those rocks. Absolutely beautiful. So there we have it. My journey for this episode is over. But the hike was definitely worth it. Just to experience this. Thank you for watching.